and you can't get away from it. And I hate this. Oh, good, that didn't show up at all. Okay, so right off the bat, I'd like to talk about the first quarter of 2019 came out, and Amazon had some challenges, right? Amazon. And, Jeff had his divorce and the New York City headquarters. But the big news is Costco tops Amazon as the new king of internet retail. And that Amazon's closing their pop-up kiosks. The author Travis Tyler says that this is all the way Amazon is. Amazon is a tester. Amazon, if anyone is, Amazon is a direct marketer. They like to do split tests. They like to gather information. They like to see what's going on. Okay, he says that all of Amazon's brick and mortar concepts, Amazon Go, Amazon 4-Star, etc., are experimental. Their purpose is to collect data on new and existing customers to better hone its approach. By taking small steps in and out of physical retail, Amazon can refine its strategy and avoid large costly mistakes. That's the kind of stuff that direct marketers do. So we're good on that. We like that. This one's, I think, a little more interesting. Costco tops Amazon as the new king of e-commerce. It's interesting because I have a Costco card. My wife had one for years. She didn't tell me because she knows I can't go into the store and not come out with a big screen TV or some new lawn tractor or something. I'm not allowed in the car. I said, we should get a Costco card. She said, oh, I've had one for years. I said, you didn't even tell me. She said, yeah, I know. Anyway, so what is interesting to me, according to the latest retail and consumer shipping report, I'm guessing it's shopping report, from the American Customer Satisfaction Index, Costco took first place in the internet retail category. This ends Amazon's decade as frontrunner in this category, and it's a retailer beating them. And what I've said all along is, as much as people wring their hands about Amazon, it's a fairly free marketplace, and Amazon never hit 10% of, the internet hasn't hit 10% of retail. Now, if one retailer gets 10% of all the retail trade, but I think Walmart's at about 5%, and I think they're the biggest. Could look these up. But the point is that no one retailer is taking the whole pie. It's in like Canada. When we worked for the Hudson Bay Company and built their first customer database, they were 40% of Canada's retail. And, they'd been around forever. And then they bought, They bought the other guys, and they were above 50%. But, this isn't Canada. This is an easy place to start a business. And so they said Amazon should be looking at Costco's success with annual membership growth, and I am going to go try out Costco's website with my card because I have a card somewhere. I don't know. I haven't been at Costco in years. Okay, and let's go on. All right, let's go on. This one's interesting, and I'm sure you won't have heard that probably on most marketing sites. But Microsoft built its new browser, Edge, on Google Chromium. And I play with Edge a little bit because I have a Windows 10 machine that I've relegated to home. I don't let it near the office. And I will say, hey, what do I have to say? Cortana. Hey, Cortana, what year did the Titanic sink or something, And it almost never gets it right. And I'm always saying, Cortana, you're the dumbest computer on earth. And part of it's because it uses Bing. And Bing tries to guess what you really want, as opposed to Google, where if you Google Washington State, let's go over here, search the web, Washington. So we're going to just put Washington in. Okay, so Seattle comes up, Olympic National Park, Mount Rainier, Washington Post, Washington State, Washington Home, Washington, D.C., and I would guess we're going to University of Washington, Washington State, and I would guess we're going to find George in here someplace. Washington was named in honor of George the Fifth, and is the only state named after a president. Okay, so you get Washington Jefferson College, Washington University in St. Louis, George Washington University, and you get a lot of stuff. Okay, why? Because Google knows they don't know what you mean when you say Washington. It's as simple as that. They just don't know what you mean. So they give you a variety. Let's try it on Bing. I don't even know if I have Bing, but I think I can go there. Bing. Yeah, I turned Bing off because it's too stupid. Let's see what it gets. Access Washington Home. About the same. News about Washington. Washington Legislature. Washington Post. Washington, D.C. So it's gotten better. It's not as dumb as it used to be, where it used to guess one and just go with it. So I would say it's not that much dumber than Google. But anyway, so Microsoft has this new browser called Edge, and they had so many bugs or vulnerabilities. I'll call it bugs, but that's not what they call it. Vulnerabilities. It had 112 critical vulnerabilities. Microsoft, Explorer was bad. Explorer had 39, and Edge, the new built from the ground up, had 112. So, and vulnerabilities in Edge have increased 6 times the amount since its inception 2 years ago. So they could have been mitigated by security teams removing admin rights from users, but that's kind of core to their Windows operating system, which is a big reason I have Linux on behind me. You see that? I don't think it's... There it is. See that? That is not a Microsoft login. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Ubuntu on it. So my main go-to travel machine is Ubuntu. Okay, now one more story on this. Alphabet, that's Google's parent company, misses earnings. Google sees less clicks. You say, why is this marketing news? Well, guess what? The revenue came in lower. When has that happened? Okay, right? Compared with the expectation, right? Okay, it was supposed to be 37.3 billion, came in 36, only $1 billion off. That sounds like a lot to me. Paid clicks on Google properties rose 39%, which is a lot, with cost per clicks on Google properties declining 19%. It's been up since, we started measuring in 2009. When did Google come online? 2003 or something? Traffic volume to Google sites continued to slow. We have a trend here. Property on Google's grew a mere 39% compared with the year ago quarter, which saw Google paid clicks rise 66%. So the growth rate has slowed. I had a client, Victor Shue. I wonder whatever happened to Victor. Anyway, and he would start fads. He would get a toy or something, and he would get it to go viral, and he would invest in it as it was going up. And when it got up and it started, the growth started to slow. Was it still growing? Oh yeah, it had a lot of growth to go. But as soon as that curve, he was a mathematician or something, chemist, I think. As soon as that growth curve went from accelerating growth to decelerating growth, he would get out of it. Are you going to get out of Google? Don't know. But the point is, things are changing. Microsoft is using Microsoft is using Google software for their core uh, replacement to Internet Explorer. Google is seeing declining growth and not meeting expectations on earning. Okay? Facebook comes in number 2, and Google is just the mega giant, and their cost per click has gone up, 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 up. But the point is that Amazon is not rated number 1. Costco is. Walmart is taking an increasing share of online sales. Things change. People say, who could ever displace Google? Who could ever displace Facebook? I almost never go to Facebook anymore. I go, once every couple days just to see, I click on the notifications to see what's what. I just don't go down my news feed anymore. Why? I don't know. My parents are watching. No, that's what kids said. My kids said years ago when they got off of Facebook. The world is always changing. In the words of the famous philosophers, who I think the king of Persia asked what he could engrave on the walls of his astounding city that would always be true. And the philosophers came back and said, "This too shall pass." Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as you go for the latest buzzwords in marketing. I'm John.